So today with FamilyMan Racing, like normal, things are torn up, it seems to be the norm anymore. I had to drop my transmission off at Firecracker Performance. Jeremiah takes care of my transmission maintenance, and I somehow along the way broke a planetary and continued to race because I didn't know it was broken. The temps were getting really hot, and then it made a clicking and then later a clunking sound when just rolling the car in the garage. So I removed the trans, took it to him, and it's going to need a new planetary. So we're going to do a gear change also, which will help for no prep. It's a 180 gear now, going to do a 169. So I'll have to hit it a little harder out of the hole on a sticky track, but overall I think it should work well. And then also this, not broken, but this is our fix. This is the old Chinese fan. I thought this was interesting. That's an 8-inch fan. That's a 16-inch fan. Notice anything similar? Same motor. And this one got super hot just running it without even the car on, just testing the airflow. It was not hardly drawing any air through the radiator. You could put a piece of paper on the other side, did not suck it down. Now this one does just fine, but it's, you know, little thicker paddles, more similar to this guy. But this one, same motor as the little guy and just these weak fan blades. But this one, let's see if we can see the thickness difference here. And it probably weighs twice as much beefier. And I tested it with the battery charger, and it sucked itself to the garage floor. You could barely break the suction. So I think we have a solution to the radiator in the rear overheating problem. I will continue on. All right, so I have the fan on. This is gonna be fun. I tested it a little bit. Let me jump the relay. Woo! I don't know. I wish the air came through on. It's just blowing air. And you can actually, before, it barely sucked any air. And now I can feel the air getting drawn in from like here all the way from the in front of the axle. It's absolutely crazy the difference. So if this doesn't cool it down, then I don't know what will. All right, a lot of work, but really not a lot of progress. I'm back to hopefully a running car. Still need to top off the trans fluid, but I have a refresh transmission in there. Mitchell Transmissions, Firecracker Performance, down in Newburgh, Indiana. Took care of that. Can't see it. It's underneath there, all clean and pretty. New Trans Specialties converter. which is interesting. It's a 9-inch body with 8-inch internals and a diode. So the thought process there is it's going to be looser getting up on the converter to launch, and then also looser on a shift, but then the diode is supposed to help it kind of lock in up top, and it's supposed to reduce the trans temps while cruising as well. It is something that can break. What I had before was spragless, and there's no sprag, no diode, one less thing to break. So a little nervous about it, but you know, they Firecracker helped me spec that with Trans Specialties. They say it's going to work. If it works the way it's supposed to, it sounds really good. Pretty excited. Been playing around, have some buddies that were helping me with springs and stuff. I don't have it on yet, but we're trying to shove some longer shocks in the back to get more shock travel, so I can add more separation in the rear and drive these little guys. So these, I don't know if I showed these yet, but not on the ground anyway. Little 26 by 8.5 Mickey Thompson radials, and this is for the Rocky Mountain 2.0, running the Rowdy Radial class. That Force Performance is sponsoring this time, so pretty cool. That's a 27.5-inch radial up front. This guy in the back. Probably run street tires on the trip. And then powering it, still the same forged internals, 5.3 with a 4-inch stroke, so it's a 5.95 liter, so not even 6 liter. And then the FP 8892 did add a 158 AR turbine housing and big 5-inch dump. What else? That's about it. Goofing around back here, you guys saw most of this stuff, but I have, let's show it again. I have the back seats down because I'm gonna shove the big toolbox that has some of my spares, like it has a spare starter, has a spare alternator, and then just some of the tools. So put that down because Marcus isn't coming with us this time. He has school. That should fit there. And then probably run the carrier on top and then the hitch rack. But with this bar, I was able to fit the 8-inch with the passive 8-inch deal. Yep. I took the nitrous bottle out. I'm not going to be spraying, and might go on a different project anyway. So I just took it out, save weight, and really save space. Cool. I'm need to check. Make sure that that fan works. And then buddy Rodney, also at Ride Tech, he has an extra 16-inch spall, so he's gonna let me take that along with me in case for some reason that one bites the dust, and then I'm SOL. So be able to take that one with me, hopefully, and find some space somewhere just in case. And then I have, oh yeah, I'll just show you this is what goes in the back. This is basically everything that really keep the car going, just in case. Yeah, and it helps other people too. So I have safety wire, I bring duct tape just in case too, spark plugs of course, multimeter, you never know. 13 injectors I think are in there that are all cleaned. Amazon brand Bosch 044s just in case. I have 4 back there, 2 stopped working, and then these are just in case, like I said. I actually only use it to prime the fuel now, the fuel pump for the cable drive, and then just whatever random stuff. Half the stuff doesn't even fit my car. I have just different hose clamps, and I bring zip ties along. More, these fit my car, but I have 3 spares for other people too. And then gotta have the Milwaukee batteries They usually last the whole time. Oh, and this is new generator. I'm gonna try to bring that along. Keep computers charged. I'll bring this, my dad's letting me use that. That's a pretty beefy car charger. Keep the car charged up and the radiator fans on between rounds. The rest of my mess. Mostly empty. Methanol. Okay, well, I got distracted and didn't give an update last night, but I did take it out and it did work. So it's the first time I got a chance to drive it in way too long. So in the driveway, it'll sit and idle at 150, 155 degrees forever. So that's with the spall fan in the back. Then the driving down the road, 3,000 to 3,500 RPM, it would creep up. I don't know how long, if it would just keep going up or not. I ended up like slowing down a little bit and it just dropped right back down again. So not to 150, but it was like 170, 180 or something like that. It got up to a high of 191. Same thing when I was doing pulls. So I did a few boost pulls, got up to most of 191, cruised, and it came back down to like 180 or something. So again, pretty happy. I think it's gonna work out well. And then if I just sat and idle it, it'll just pull it right back down. So I don't think the radiator in the back, obviously it's just not getting any airflow to help out. You gonna give an update? Yeah. I'm in the middle of an update.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm back. She didn't want to give an update. That's about it. Oh, the new converter. So transmission's in. I replaced all kinds of stuff on the back of the engine. O-ring for the cam sensor, the rear main seal, housing, gasket, something else. I don't know. Lots of stuff. Ended up fixing multiple oil leaks. It's finally dry for once underneath there. Transmission, new converter. The converter is loose compared to the last one. So before, it took 30 pounds of boost for the converter to drop to 6,500 RPM on a shift. So that's technically the stall speed, 6,500 once I'm in boost. This time, it was only 18 pounds of boost and it was 6,500. So that's fantastic. The concern though is if once I'm running 30, if it's like 7,500, then I'm gonna have to rev to 8,000 or more just to like have any coupling of the converter. So that'll be too loose. So if I can get it somewhere between 7 and 7,100, that'll be fantastic. There are some changes I can make to the converter. They have a different pump option and a different stator option to play with it. But I won't have time. So it's basically is what it is. And I can tighten it up a little bit if needed with high guard John Deere tractor fluid, hydraulic fluid, which is a little thicker, and we'll tighten it up a little bit, 100 to 200 RPM maybe. So it might be perfect. What else? Still have a big list to do. This is what I was working on and remembered I needed to video. So have some suspension components that some buddies helped out with, and this is pretty cool. Made a new mount for the top. It'll go right in there. So these are the Fortunato coilovers that I adapted to fit all my fancy stuff. Not really fancy, hodgepodge. And so we're hodgepodging some more. This will bolt in. Clevis mount here. It'll run like this, upside down, and then the rebound adjuster, single adjustable, will be on the bottom, which will be easy to get to in theory, to adjust, and then another clevis to go to the bottom and mount on my car. So I have to take this apart and put the springs in on. So that's 6.9 inches of travel. I only had 4 inches before, and then 150-pound spring versus 250-pound spring. So it's going to compress 4 inches approximately versus like a couple inches before, and then allow a lot more extension to drive that little tire into the ground, which will kind of separate the body away from it. That's the plan. We'll see how it works. And it's a mess. All right, not a bad night. So got the cab moved over. Obviously Kyle was chopping and cutting, make it, he's got a lot more to do to make it fit. Probably have to shorten the bed a little bit, move the cab back. But it was great fun hanging out finally, and also cruising with the car. So I love driving it at night. Turn the tunes up, cruising, weather's great, hang a hand out the window, and it's just, I love it. It's my favorite time to drive the car. So got home since the engine was warm. I drained the oil, changed the oil, also drained some of the trans fluid, and put in some high guard transmission fluid, which will tighten up the converter a bit and hopefully lower the trans temps a bit too. As the temps were higher than I want them to be, so need to get that. All right, so got that taken care of. Still need to put the speed ring on, the drive shaft sensor. I'm gonna skip the alignment. It drives straight. I just need to move the steering wheel, recenter the steering wheel, because it drives nice and straight. Let's see. I'm also skipping the anti-roll bar. I am running out of time. Don't care. And shocks are on. So I'm gonna adjust the bars. Do that, and then figure out how to get that, well, not those, that, probably one of those, all in the car, and I'm back. So, and see, I'm gonna go, also planning on hopefully in the track on Saturday, so a couple of days from now. Hardinsburg has their just normal Saturday night program. They have test and tune, and they also have just a like kind of run what you brung race, same cost as the test and tune, so you may as well do it. I probably will just do a little test run, drive the car down at race week style. It's about an hour and 20-minute drive, and all my stuff with me, and run it, and hopefully all goes well and drive back home. All right, so update on trans coolers. I can't put anything in front of the intercooler because 200-degree trans cooler in front of that defeats the purpose of it. Can't put anything behind it because there's really no room. This is only 6 inches span here, and yeah. So, what is that? I took out the plastic that was here and put my old True Cool 40K underneath there. No fan on it. Really not sure how much airflow it's going to get, but it might, because this is gonna be high pressure here and technically somewhat low pressure because of this underneath it. So the air might force down through there. I did leave this one, so they are in series, which isn't ideal. Parallel's a little bit better because of pressures, because it has to force its way through this and that. But is what it is. That's what worked out, and I'm gonna take it for a test drive later and get everything up nice and hot and see how it works. But this worked great before up here with a lot of airflow, obviously, but it's still gonna be a good heat sink, so we'll see. Testing the track set up. I got some good advice to cool this thing down as much as possible between runs. And so I run the fan in the back, obviously, for the radiator. And the electric water pump, and so it can cycle everything. And then this is a beastly charger that works on this 14-volt battery system, and then a little generator I got. So it's working. Into the track tonight. Oh, I did a bunch of stuff today. These are reminders to grab the GoPro and the tuning computer. So right now, let's see, 14.7 volts. I think only the water pump is running now. Yeah, the coolant temps are low enough that the fan's kicked off. It's pretty quiet too, not bad.